You're watching the New Brunswick Adventures.
This is the northeastern shore of the Canadian province of New Brunswick. This is the province's northern shoreline, which borders Chaleur Bay, a subbasin of the Gulf of St. Lawrence. The north shore faces the southern shore of Quebec's Gaspé Peninsula. This part of the province is renowned for its spirited cultural diversity, sandy beaches, and beautiful destinations. Now, every spring on the North Shore, and various times throughout the province of New Brunswick, each region has their much anticipated lobster season. All along the coast, the fishermen embark on opening day after a long wait through the cold winter months. Although these tasty lobster are sold internationally, it's the locals of the province who anticipate opening day the most. Let's go on a journey lobster fishing with our hosts Scott Jenks and lobster fisherman extraordinaire Darrell Knowles.
Hi, I'm Scott Jenks and you're watching the New Brunswick Adventures. It's an early morning here in late June in Stonehaven Wharf in northern New Brunswick, and we're going to learn how to do some lobster fishing. I've been fortunate enough today to be welcomed aboard the Salty Dog by Captain Darrell Knowles. Darrell's not only popular around these parts for his knowledge of these waters, but also for his days of a hockey player, where he actually landed a role in the movie Slapshot. To learn more about that, and to learn how to lobster fish, let's go meet Darrell.
We take you to Stonehaven Wharf. This is a small community on the coast about 20 minutes northeast of the city of Bathurst to visit a longtime local lobster fisherman, Darrell Knowles.
Welcome aboard, guys. Our routine is, well, we're going down Bay first because it's kind of blowing from the south, so it's going to make it a lot easier for you guys. And as we fish, I'll show you the whole routine, and we'll go from there. We're just going on tie now and head down Bay, and then I'll explain everything as the traps come up and stuff.
Just tell me where to be and where not to be and stay it any way. That's what it is.
That is right.
Right up.
You can even get bit by a lobster if you want.
Lobster season in New Brunswick varies depending on the region. In the Chaleur region, it lasts 60 days, and with any luck in the weather, the season will start on May 9th and continue through to July 9th. Stonehaven Wharf is but one of hundreds along the New Brunswick coastline. Lobster fishing is a way of life for many communities in the entire Atlantic coast of Canada. A typical day of lobster fishing starts at first light. The crews check their lobster traps that were baited with local halibut and Atlantic mackerel, then sort the legal size catch and rebait the traps. The traps are then dropped again and checked the following day.
Well, we're just heading down in the cold there, and we'll start from there. Most of the boats are out now, and anyway, the lobsters are in along the beach now because they're starting to spawn, so that's where everybody is fishing now.
So at the beginning of the season, they kind of just work their way in, or?
Yeah, at the beginning there, like we usually setting from 50 to 90 feet. Okay. And as the water gets warmer, they start moving in. And now this time of year, like I say, they're along the beach spawning.
This lobster, it's sold all over the world, right? It's sold
Yes.
all over the place.
Yeah, the European market caught on, and I think that's what's going on. Okay.
This is the second last day of lobster season. The seas are calm, and the crew is thankful because the weather is not always so favorable.
See, this is my job now. Gloves, go back. I do the hauling. Dark morning.
Although the lobster season is short, the crews anticipate the end of the season. After spending early mornings and long days on the water, this is the second last day of the season for Darrell and his crew. They will check and drop the traps one more time, and the final catch will end the season tomorrow.
Get you to show me the difference in a male and a female.
Alright, so a female has kind of a wider tail.
Okay.
And then a male here has a narrow tail right here.
Okay.
So you just gotta be careful with the female to make sure there's no spawn, no eggs. If there's eggs, you gotta throw it back.
Okay.
And these two are too small anyways, so we're gonna throw them out. Too small. That's also too small too.
Baiting.
So basically we have mackerel and flatfish. We're not baiting with flatfish right now because we're picking these up tomorrow. But right now I'm just loading up the bait sticks with mackerel so we can catch some lobsters overnight. And usually we put flatfish in the bottom because the flatfish lasts probably 1 or 2 days, where the mackerel just only lasts overnight.
Okay.
So, but now it doesn't really matter because we're picking up the traps tomorrow. So we're just baiting these with mackerel because tomorrow we want all the bait to be gone.
Depending on the size and gender of the lobster, some may be illegal to keep. So they have to be checked for eggs and size to ensure that they are legal to retain.
Yeah, so here,
So yeah, what are the sizes here?
So-
There's 3 different sizes.
there's 2 different sizes.
2 different sizes.
And so basically for the measure, the one side's a market and one side's a canner. But basically you just kind of take it over where his eye socket is,
Okay.
and you bring it down and you measure his body. So here you can see that he's big enough for a canner. So usually I always just check to make sure. And he's too small for a market. You see how it wiggles?
Right.
So I just always make sure. So it's a good canner. Check its belly. It's a male. So.
Okay.
And here, this canner's here, and then those are the markets. So this one, I'll measure it again. See how it doesn't go over its body.
Right.
So it's a good canner. And this one might be a market. So here's the market, 81. And it's just a market. So it's good to go. No spawn.
No spawn.
Throw them in the market case.
Cool.
Yesterday there we had lots of big ones because
Yeah.
it was 2 days.
We
Okay.
didn't fish on Sunday, so
Day of rest.
day of rest.
It's over, and that's why the rain's coming, because the fishermen are going to start to cry because we had a bad year.
Okay.
Every lobster that is brought aboard must be checked for legal size and if the females are carrying eggs. If the females carry eggs, they must be returned to the sea so that they can reproduce for another day.
Shit, spawn there.
Oh yeah, that's full egg.
Yep. So you throw those
back.
back right here.
Oh yeah, look at that. Good for the future.
Good for the future, as Darrell would say. So at the start of the year, we'll fill probably between 10 and 12 crates. That's probably around 800-900 pounds a day.
Really?
And today is kind of like it's our last day of fishing, so the catches aren't as big right now, just because it's kind of the end of the year.
With roughly the same amount of pots?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, same amount of pots every day. Yeah.
Yeah, so Darrell, I hear stories about your slap shot days back with your hockey playing and actually the movie. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, that was in 1976. Actually, it was the month of May that I went down to the movie. Paul Newman's brother, Art Newman, wanted me to go down. I was in a group of 8 that played with Syracuse Blazers in the North American League. And anyway, I was supposed to go down for a big shoot on April 26th to May 1st, but because I was setting traps, I couldn't. So I went down 2 weeks later, and I stayed 2 weeks, and quite an experience, to meet Paul Newman, Joanne Woodward, all those people, and the Hanson brothers. I played with those guys.
Oh, you did?
I played against them.
Oh, really? Were they as wild as they looked on the...
Oh yeah, we had a few boats. Yes, a lot of movie stars, and so Jennifer Warren was really, really pleasant, and
Sounds like quite the experience.
it was an experience,
Right.
very good, and it was done in Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
Next, we travel south along the eastern New Brunswick coastline to what is known as the lobster capital of the world, Shediac. Join us as we take a run with Shediac Bay Cruises and then find out how not every lobster is created equally.
A chance of catching a white lobster is 1 in 100 million.
As we visit the Shediac Lobster Eco Center.
From a regular lobster, you're looking at 1 in 2 million that will be blue.
Stay tuned for more of the New Brunswick adventures. You're watching the New Brunswick adventures.
Next, we travel south along the eastern New Brunswick coastline to Shediac, known as the lobster capital of the world. And every summer, the Shediac Lobster Festival hosts many great activities, including concerts, giant lobster feasts, and you can even take a special ride with the Shediac Bay Cruises.
My name is Ron Cormier. I'm president and owner of Shediac Bay Cruises. The name of the boat is the Ambassador, and we offer lobster tours. That's what we do on a daily basis here at Point de Chine. Right now, we are sailing to a particular area called Rock Buoy. And what we're actually going to do, we're going to release about 8,000 little phase 4 lobsters. The reason we're releasing 8,000, that is the approximate number that the Shediac Festival has consumed during the festival this week. It's important to replenish your resources, which you depend on. It has an economic factor to it. We've been fishing for quite some time, years and years and years, and you don't always think about that. You're always thinking about how much you can catch and how much pressure I can put to sustain a livelihood. But when you put some good management plans together, good sound conservation measures, you're assuring your future. And this is just one little way that you can promote that. And we're very lucky and very fortunate that we can do this today.
And always a pleasure to do what we're about to do. I think it's very important to replenish what we take out of the sea, and that's exactly what we're going to do this afternoon.
Beaucoup de soleil, they love the plankton, and they feed off the sun. But we have birds and we have fish. If you take a 2-pound lobster female with 100,000 eggs, 1% will survive. The mortality, or even less. So your mortality rate is quite high.
It's hard to believe that these tiny little crustaceans will sometime in the next few years turn into these tasty, edible lobster. Well, maybe not that big, but you know what I mean. We take our lobster very seriously in New Brunswick, and we start them very early.
A chance of catching a white lobster is 1 in 100 million.
Next up on the New Brunswick Adventures, we meet a couple of very unique lobsters.
From a regular lobster, you're looking at 1 in 2 million that will be blue.
Stay tuned for more of the New Brunswick adventures. You're watching the New Brunswick adventures.
The entire coastline of New Brunswick is an absolute gem, whether it's its beauty of the majestical cliffs in the north or the highest tides on the Fundy shoreline to the south. The seafood is awesome no matter where you go, and guaranteed fresh. Although the seafood is second to none anywhere in the world, there is of course a lot of other activities along the coastline of New Brunswick. Recreational boating, fishing, and our sandy beaches make this part of Canada a must-see. As you enter Shediac, you can visit the world's largest lobster. And just down the road, you can visit Shediac's Eco Center, where every lobster is not created equally.
I think I've got an orange one here. That's the white one. This lobster weighs approximately 10 pounds. And we're looking at close to 20 to 25 years old. So that lobster's seen a lot. I think it was more up north, because when we got it was at the beginning of the season, and that's usually where they fish. So what you're looking at right now is a small scale version of our hatchery in Shediac. So they will grow to be a stage 4 lobster, in about 2 weeks. So at that point is where we release them. They're feisty. This lobster, that's close to a minimum size. I'd say 6 to 8 years old. On average, you're looking at between 3,000 to 5,000, and the bigger they grow, of course, they will carry more eggs. A female that's roughly 10 pounds will have close to 100,000 eggs.
Can a blue lobster come from a regular lobster, or is it just from a blue lobster?
No, they can definitely. From a regular lobster, you're looking at 1 in 2 million that will be blue. Can you tell?
Oh yeah, you still got them.
Yeah? Okay.
That's cool. It's so white that there's some tints of blue a little bit, so it's purplish. What's crazy about a white lobster, is that if you cook it, it won't turn orange. As where the blue one will. It's got zero pigmentation. A chance of catching a white lobster is 1 in 100 million. We won't be getting one every year. Thanks for watching the New Brunswick Adventures, discovering our coastlines from the northeastern to the southern Fundy Coast.